talk a little bit about circle of fifths, some exercises and things, and expand on the video I released on Monday. I'm also going to talk about an upcoming video. So do a little playing as we start out here, and I'll be here to chat live, and so say hello. All right, double check all the settings. Everything is going, hopefully. Okay, so playing around there a little bit on the changes to Poinciana. I believe I do have a recording of that on the channel, the YouTube channel. So check that one out. Thinking a little bit about that tune because I'm going to focus a little bit this week and maybe in the coming weeks on more modal type approaches to playing and tunes and everything. So a modal tune, could have a mix of approaches, within it. So in yesterday's podcast, I had talked about Dolphin Dance. And so when we think about a tune like that, we have a modal approach mixed in with a more modal approach and some functional kind of harmony. So to differentiate there, we want to think about what does the harmony kind of set out to do. So if we have a 2, 5, 1, that's going to give us a clear function or progression that fits into these specific roles that have been kind of handed down really through history of music. You know, the 5-1 motion. Now, other parts of these changes, we'll go from say G major 7 to A minor 7. You know, I kind of tend to think of this as sort of palettes of sounds and shifting feels and moods. But if you think about it, you know, strictly in a sort of theory sense, or just even just the think about the diatonic chords, right? You know, a G major 7. So let's say you're thinking in the key of 1 sharp, right? Then the next chord is A minor, right? So this A flat really sits outside of that. This chord also comes up in the key of 2 sharps, right? And then the chord just a step above that is A7. So even by taking a little bit of knowledge on the key signatures and getting a sense for where those chords come up, we hear that, you know, A flat minor is not in that whole system, right? So that can provide a little bit of a clue when you're analyzing tunes. Right? So just to expand on that a little bit. So if you find a minor chord, right, then as far as tonal music goes, you know, that could be in one of 3 key signatures, let's say, right? So let's just kind of grab a chord out of here. Let's say we have C minor 7. So this could be a 2 chord in the key of 2 flats. Right? It could be a 3 chord in the key of 4 flats. Or it could be a 6 chord in the key of 3 flats. Interestingly enough, right, 2 flats, A flat major, 3 flats, E flat major, and 4 flats, A flat major. We're following the circle of fifths there. So yeah, I've got a comment here. Hello, what's the extra pickup you have beside the bridge? Oh, okay, so that's the GK3, Roland GK3. I'll talk a little bit about that. So I use it with the SY1000. Not presently using it, but I'll use it with that for a few reasons. But it's called a hexaphonic pickup. Okay, so it actually has, and I'm not really techie on this, so correct me if I'm wrong, but it has 6 individual pickups on it. And so you can do all sorts of kind of cool things with with a synth pickup, you can separate the strings and have different instruments playing on different strings and things like that. So I've been using it for creating the some of the neck visualizations that I've been putting out on the shorts and maybe some of the long form videos where I play and you can end up seeing the neck. And I've been using a free app or VST called Shreddage. Look that up. It's a VST, and I play that through the Complete Control. So that's kind of a thing that I've got going on, which works pretty well. But I also use it to record. So rather than playing piano or something, or adding notes, manually programming into the MIDI, I'll record myself playing usually chords, and then I'll have the keyboard VST playing those chords. So yeah, thanks for asking. Looking at getting one for a resonator guitar set up with a pickup. Yeah. So that should work well. The one thing to be aware of is that it works only on like electric and steel strings. It doesn't work on nylon strings. Okay, well, let's take a quick moment to encourage folks to like and subscribe, turn on notifications. This really helps the channel to grow and reach a wider audience. Making an effort here to teach guitar in kind of a no shortcuts, no frills sort of way, kind of get down and do the work and do it consistently. And that's kind of the thing I've been working towards. Need to write a mission statement or something, but that's kind of the idea here. William, welcome. Been working an awful lot, so haven't been able to sit down and watch. Okay. Hope you and your family have a great Christmas. Thank you. Thank you, William. I hope you and your family have a great Christmas as well. Speaking of Christmas, released Christmas Time is Here last week. So check that out if you haven't already. Charlie Brown Christmas. Anybody know if that's on Netflix or anything? I'd love to watch that with my family, and the music is really really awesome. I am really sorry if I don't read this well enough, but Valhalla, do you use open tunings? I don't tend to use open tunings. I have used the Nashville tuning, which is pretty much similar to the standard tuning. It's just kind of messing with the string thicknesses and the tuning some strings up an octave. But I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. One of the things that I find is that learning and playing melodically in the standard tuning, and just trying to keep that on a nice, solid, intuitive level is really important. And so I'll tell you a little bit of a story, and I'll get to your comment too, Jonathan. So, in an effort to get the recordings here better on the channel, I decided to upgrade the bass, and I got a 6-string bass so that I can maybe hit some lower notes and also hit some higher notes, but you can pretty much stay in a fairly good position. So anyway, I tuned it in all fourths, and I went back and forth between guitar and that in all fourths, and it's really throwing me. So now I'm tuning 6-string bass to standard tuning. Relative, it's not E A D G B. What is it? It's starts with B. Anyway, goes up. But anyway, so that's my little story on that. But I am interested, and I'm interested in. I think there's a tenor guitar tuning that's really cool. That I think Matheny has been using a bit, maybe on his Moondial recording. So I'm interested. But I think I'd have to approach any kind of open tunings as just sort of exploratory, like making sounds and things. I don't know. I think it would be really hard to just figure out a new tuning. Let's see. Jonathan says he likes the guitar inlays. Yeah, I do like these too. I think they're pretty nice. Little siren going. What kind of music do you like to play? So I love to play all styles of music. My favorite is jazz, and that encompasses a variety. I have a real interest in improvisation, so that really kind of find it suits my interest pretty well. But I like all style. I really love music from the 70s, but also 60s, 50s. I mean, I'm pretty open-minded to playing different styles and stuff, and I always feel like if I'm playing something, if I'm playing a sound, I'm pretty happy. So I can play a pop tune in a wedding band and be happy and content with that, or anything. All right, take care, William. Back to work, understandable. Okay. FACGCE is a pretty tuning. Nice. Yeah, I'm familiar with DADGAD, D-A-D-G-A-D. That does sound pretty nice. Play open with a slide, very nice. Find it hard to play with slide on standard. Yeah, I could see that for sure. Okay, I'm gonna do a little playing here. I'll mention that I'm also streaming on Facebook, and I was gonna do Instagram, but it looks like I didn't hit the go live. Should I go live midstream, perhaps? Why not? Okay, and I'm on Twitter too, so just joined Instagram just now, so hopefully some folks will join us there. I'm gonna mute my mic and do a little noodling here. So a little talking on the circle of fifths. So I mentioned the circle of fifths on this past Monday. So I put together a video on it, and so I want to establish a few videos that can give folks a foundation, because I think a lot of folks may be skipping some of the basics and like jumping straight in to these modes and everything. And modes are great, but some perspectives on that. If you're playing, let's say, a standard jazz tune, and it's kind of a tonal sort of tune, let's say Autumn Leaves. As you move through, you're really in a kind of a collection of tones as we go from at least most chords, chord to chord, right? So in a sense, the mode, if you want to think about it this way, try to think about, okay, how does the key of 1 sharp relate to this chord A minor, right? So what's consonant and dissonant in that, right? So take the arpeggio and have it compared a little bit with the tones from the scale. So that would be a good way to think of it, and then think about, okay, Dorian as a little bit of a shorthand on, okay, I know the sound has a flat 3 and a flat 7, right? And so just think of that as a sound at a given moment in time as you go through the progression. So if you go in and you kind of say, I'm going to plug in this mode and then plug in this next mode, D7, a lot of times you're just doing the same collection of notes. The perspective I would encourage folks to do is think about how do those notes relate to the current chord, and think about the name of it as shorthand for how you describe it. So Mixolydian, that has a flat 7. Every mode is compared to the major scale. So when you play a certain chord sound, try to think about how is that different from the major scale. Okay? All right, so yeah, we've got some comments. Checking out shreddage. Yeah. I would really like to find really good VST. There's a lot of visual issues with them, I find. I found one that has great visuals and doesn't have the guitar MIDI functionality, so I kind of lost some money on that. Although I'm just kind of holding out hope that they upgrade that at some point. And shreddage is pretty good because it's free, but the scale of the neck is sort of, it's not right. So it's just really baffling that would be the case. But what can you do? So I would like to visually line it up with the fingerboard here, just side by side. I think that would be a really kind of cool thing visually for folks to see. And then I've got another VST I've been using for a while, which is Orange Tree samples, but it's completely unscaled. So I'm interested in possibly creating my own. At some point, we'll see. Not really high on my list, but and I'm sure it's probably more technical than I'd want to get into. One thing I would really, really love to see is for Guitar Pro to have the have that functionality in their software, because I love the visual, but everything that I do on those are basically set ahead of time. So thanks for joining in. I'm not getting into any geopolitical discussions here. I'm gonna keep this. This is a niche channel. It's a jazz guitar channel. Not even jazz, but improvisation on guitar. But yeah, with a focus on jazz. But thanks for writing in. I do appreciate it. Okay, so what to do on these circle of fifths? So try simple progressions. A 5, 1 in the key of G, and then do a 5, 1, key of C, 5, 1 in the key of F, 5, 1, key of B flat. And see if you can do that in a melodic way, okay? So by playing, maybe some arpeggios and things. As you go through. So let's say, go do a D7, outline a resolution. So actually, if you really focus on the 5, 1 in major and minor, that's going to carry you really, really, really far on a lot of material. 5, 1 on major, 5, 1 on minor, and then 2 5s. Understand 4 chords, 4 chord going to minor, 4 chord going to the flat 7 in the key. And a lot of these tunes can be kind of, you see these sort of patterns coming up again and again. All right, so I'll mention too, I'm available for private lessons. I have an easy sign up on my website, guitar-resource.com. I have a member site in development. If you want to join my email list, please do. And you'll get information on that. I'm going to have like an extended trial period for new users. So join the mailing list. We have fretprints.com, so visit that and click join, and then I have a email list and some details about the upcoming thing, but pretty excited about that. I may be using Sound Slice on that and giving some lessons that you can kind of almost interact with the video. It's pretty cool. So I've been looking into it. You can kind of link video with some tablature and things like that. I won't be doing any copyrighted material, but it'll be all about improvisation. So gonna have like a live feed on that, and haven't decided exactly the structure, but I may have that available, and then maybe a higher up tier where you can do on-demand videos, lessons, and courses, and live streams, and webinar style type things too. So sure to check that out. All right, I'll do a little more playing here. Okay, thanks for joining us today. I'm gonna put out a melody video on Dolphin Dance. I'm really excited about the backing track. It's turning out really nicely. I found on happened upon a Ron Carter. I follow Ron Carter on Facebook. I would advise you to do the same. And he puts out some really interesting information. He has pretty lengthy little blurbs on his teaching practice and some advice that he gives to folks, and found it really pretty valuable. So I'd love to share that with all of you. So check him out. But I was lucky to find I don't know if it was a student or one of his followers or someone he's associated with wrote out his bass line to Dolphin Dance from the original recording, Herbie Hancock. And so I recorded that the bass line this past Saturday, and it really sounds cool. So I'm really grateful that he shared that, and so it really adds a great element to the rhythm section, and I transcribed just the rhythmic content of Herbie Hancock's playing, and I'm going to have that on kind of a Rhodes sound. So it's going to sound a little bit different. It's going to be kind of a modern take on not the music, but the modern or maybe more contemporary instrumentation, or less traditional. So electric bass, Rhodes, and drums. So and that's kind of generally how I like to record these backing tracks. So stick with that. So, all right, Guitar Vacation says, glad I found you on my feed. Great. Also, as well. Great. I'm going to have to sub so I can watch you later. Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks for dropping by. Thanks for the subscription. Can I play the Better Call Saul theme? I went through that with a student a few years ago. I'm not going to play that off the top of my head right now, but thanks for your request. And roses are rosy. Thanks for the applause, and appreciate it. All right, everybody. Check out the merch store. We've got this is a prototype, but got some folks who have picked up the mug. I appreciate it. And check out the podcast. Krill says hi, here for the first time. Hi, welcome. David says, why is it that all jazz guitar has seemingly the same tone? What makes it the jazz tone? Yeah, it's a good question. Well, yeah, there is sort of like, I think it has a lot to do with the history of the instrument and amplification and electronics and that intersection with the popularity and the currents of popular music is kind of my guess on that. So I think that some of the we think about the Fender amps, right, that were being developed, and the pickup systems and the electronics. A lot of what I think they were doing was they were really trying to get a clean acoustic-ish sound to amplify the sound of the guitar, right? Because nobody really kind of, I think, originally intended for it to go in the Jimi Hendrix direction, although that's really awesome and really cool. So as far as I understand it, Leo Fender was really trying hard to have a nice, clean, amplified speaker cabinet amplifier system. And I think some of the pickups and things were just darker. And that intersection, like I said, with the swing era and the popularity of jazz music kind of on the decline, right about that time that rock and roll is taking off, and that moment of the technology, and I think they influence each other, but I think that's where you kind of get that kind of jazz tone, so you have Freddie Green, who basically played acoustic in a sense, right? Just kind of, but he may have been amplified. I'm sure he was. I don't know, but if you know about that, let me know in the comments. But a lot of folks said, well, they couldn't really hear him, but of course, the band members could hear him well, and it sort of affirms the group together. And how do you sit in that setting with horns that are really bright, and maybe the keyboard, and how do you sit in sonically on that? So you try to find your little band of tone that maybe is a little bit mellower, a little different than the horns. You have Charlie Christian, but the ES-175, Gibson, and you have Joe Pass. You have other types of guitars like the hollow body guitars. So it really started, with the electronics. From what I understand and what I kind of perceived about the history is, you've got a hollow body guitar that's sort of like a cello, sort of like an acoustic guitar, and they're trying to put a pickup on it. So I think things have kind of gone, and for a clean tone, it's nice to have a little bit of that acoustic sort of sound. But jazz can be fairly broad depending on what your interests are. So there's a lot of folks who play Telecasters, a lot of folks who play like even solid body guitars. I would say Alan Holdsworth. I would put him in the jazz genre. So It all kind of depends, but sometimes you want to go for that classic sound, I think. All right, everybody. Well, I'm gonna hang out for another 5 minutes here. So thank you for joining me. It's great chatting with everybody. It's really awesome opportunity to meet some new folks and to continue chatting with some folks who follow the channel, have followed for a while. Krill says show and tell on the instrument. And love the inlays. Guitar is beautiful. Thanks. David says interesting. Thanks for your answer. You're welcome. So, and I'm not claiming to be a history expert or anything, or even like the kind of technical guitar setups and stuff. I don't do well with soldering guns and stuff. So I'll try to give my best answer on that, but that's how I understand it. The instrument. So this instrument is a what you might call a semi-hollow body. So it has basically a wood block down the center, and then it's hollow on the sides. So this guitar works really well for me, and so I enjoy it. It's got I have it on the neck pickup right now. Check out the bridge pickup. Sometimes when I play live, I'll blend the two. And then the this pickup the bridge pickup has some options here, so you can change how the current is going through the magnetic pickups, everything like that. And like I said earlier, this is the GK3 pickup here, which I don't currently have plugged in, so I'm not really using that at the moment. Yeah, the inlays are pretty cool. It actually came with a chip in the fingerboard, which I filled it in and didn't worry about it beyond that. I tried to play it without fixing it, but it kind of bothered my finger, so I could kind of feel it under there. So I just filled it in rather than sending it back. But it sounds good. It kind of serves my purposes here. I have to say, I feel like the pickups are a little bit low output. So at some point, I may change them, although I didn't really want to do anything with this guitar, but we'll see how it goes. Sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge trying to get everything clear. So no, I don't speak Chinese. Only speak English, unfortunately. Song and wind. I cannot speak for guitar, but some jazz sounds were created because of flawed techniques used by woodwind doublers. Okay, that's interesting. You know, Grill, you're welcome. You're welcome. Let me mention a quick like and subscribe, everybody. Join me again on Sunday at 10:30. Keep an eye on the chat and turn on notifications in case anything changes. But I intend to be here on Sunday. Keep an eye out for the video coming out. Should be Friday morning. It's going to be a melody video on Dolphin Dance. Laid down some scratch recordings and developing, some of the phrasing that I'd like to end up playing on that. And so I'm excited about it. Hope you are too. What else was I going to say? Guitar. woodwind doublers. So yeah, when you played in big bands, let's say back in the day, or you would kind of generally try to phrase together, and of course even today they do that when you're working with like 4, 5 musicians basically playing in unison. You're trying to phrase the same, you're trying to kind of sound like a unit and everything. So a lot of the phrasing on the guitar, and as far as in the jazz genre, is heavily influenced by horns. So we try to do things that sound similar. So that's as far as phrasing and things go. So song and wind. Going from sax to flute, players tend to end up with a bit of unfocused sound since sax takes a toll on the flute embouchure. Yeah, that makes sense, because anytime I've played with a sax player who's kind of required to double on flute, I haven't found they enjoy that particularly. Trumpet players at Juilliard also play jazz complain about going back and forth between the two genres. So it's definitely a thing. Okay, cool. Thanks for your comments, everybody. I'm going to sign off here for today, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a great day, great practice session.